making one or two more.
Two questions. First, do you have any update on the state of the field, and also do you have any update on injury reports?
I'm 2 for 2. I wrote down what you're going to ask me. I'm 2 for 2. I'm going to play the lotto today. In terms of the field, we're anticipating the field's going to be there, and we're going to play on it on Saturday. I'm more concerned about Vanderbilt and, the competition and a great defense and a hungry football team coming in here and getting our team ready to play our best football game. In terms of injuries, no new injuries really from the game. It was a hard-fought game, but nothing serious. We fully anticipate Jawan Jennings to practice today. So, again, we expect everyone to be available.
Steve, and Jimmy, and Rob, Nick.
I'm just wondering, you talked about the pressure in this conference, but I'm just wondering what the risk-reward is. Obviously, you're paid better, the spotlight's brighter, but the pressure's greater. I was just wondering, what were the expectations what did you know about the expectations of coaching in this conference going in, and how is it kind of different from what maybe you were expecting when you arrived?
It really isn't anything that I didn't expect. Had a lot of friends that coach in this conference, a lot of head coaching friends that have coached in this conference and do coach in this conference, and there's a reason why it's the best football conference in the country. But when everyone asks me, my response is always the same. Every day you get up, it's 4th and 1 for the national championship. It doesn't matter if it's in recruiting. It doesn't matter if it's in the off season. It doesn't matter during the season. Again, everything is contested in everything that you do in this conference from a competitive standpoint, even from a resource standpoint, from facilities to, what could you do each and every day to elevate your program. Everyone's looking for a competitive advantage. The biggest thing is it puts years on your life. My wife showed me a picture of 3 short years ago, and I look like a different person, so I have to practice what I preach and get some health back. But, when you're passionate about what you do, and we have a passionate fan base here, and all I'm concerned about is our players in giving our fans a product that they can be very proud of.
Jimmy Hines, Rob, and Carboni.
Butch, a couple of questions. One is you closed out the game against Missouri in particular with that drive that ate up 5 minutes. Do you feel like that proves now that you can close out a game, or do you still need to do that against a top 25 opponent?
I think anytime you can do that, it's a great teach point. It builds confidence. The other thing when you talk about running the clock out that I thought is a tremendous teaching point moving forward was when we gave up the long pass and Malik Foreman tackled the wide receiver. And initially it was ruled a touchdown, and then via video replay, and I believe it took all 4 downs for them to score from the 1-yard line. To me, that was the maturation of a football team. And I believe it took a little over 2 minutes off the clock as well. And to me, that was as big of a play in that sequence. And what we talk about just give me a place to stand. It doesn't matter if it's, with an inch to go or on the 5-yard line, just give us a place to stand. So all those things are great teaching points in moving forward. And when you have success with those teaching points, it just helps, obviously, in the confidence end of things as well. Josh continues to get better and better and better. Like we talk about the quarterback, it's a lot like the coaches. They get probably too much praise when you win and too much blame when you lose. A quarterback is a byproduct of everyone around them. And a lot of times they just see the quarterback standing there. They don't see there may be a depth, that the receiver didn't run the appropriate depth, or he ran the wrong route, or we didn't do something in protection. So the quarterback is a byproduct of individuals around him. But I think Josh continues to grow and develop. He's come so far, even in this year. There's still a lot of room for development. That's what makes this game of football so great, is you can constantly get better. But he has taken tremendous strides.
Rob Lewis, and Carboni.
Coach, just to follow on Coleman and his maturation, just the entire run game. You guys are second in the league. You've got more rushing attempts. Can you talk about how that has gotten better as the year has gone on, and kind of talk a little bit about Jalen and how much you were able to lean on him Saturday?
It has become a source of pride for us. Obviously, we're going to be challenged with a defensive football team coming in here that takes pride in stopping the run. So again, this will be our biggest challenge to date, but I believe it's the best average per game since 1994. That's 21 years. Averaging 214 yards a game. There's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, the maturation of the offensive line. It starts with them. It's a line of scrimmage game. Obviously, Jalen Hurd. I thought, Jalen. I think he had 32 carries. Did a great job in terms of managing the workload. Alvin Kamara continues to give us quality yards as well. Excited about him as well. I think the receivers have done a good job of blocking, and I think part of that maturation process has really been the growth and development of Ethan Wolf. I think Ethan Wolf continues to develop. Alex Ellis has done some good things, so a total team effort. But again, we're going to be challenged tremendously this week with a great defense. And you talk about watching them run around and the things that they do. You put the video on, and right away it just takes 2 or 3 plays, and you're playing a dominant team Saturday.
More about the run game, but more specifically about the line, and it almost seems that Coleman's story is representative of the whole line: position switches, adversities, injuries. How much pride does that group take in the way they're playing right now, having a 1,000-yard rusher and perhaps the best running season here since 2004?
Tremendous pride, and deservingly so. They've worked so hard. They work their craft every day. They're in the weight room doing extra. They're in the video room. It's Sunday afternoon, and we're already game planning, and they're coming in our room to see the coaches. And they have a lot of confidence right now and belief in each other. Our running backs believe in them. They believe in our running backs, and it's been great. It's been great to see. Again, it gets back to that maturation process that we spoke about, but it's also having the patience to run the football, and a lot of times you become impatient with running the football, and you can stop calling the runs. And like we talked about, sometimes a 2-yard run is a really good run. Sometimes a 0-yardage run is a good run, because you can't have negative yardage football plays. I think the other thing in the evolution of our run game is we've been able to minimize negative yardage football plays, and that all goes hand in hand. But again, we're going to be challenged this week with their front seven. But I'm proud of the players and just how much they've grown and they developed, and you can see them growing confidence more and more and more in each other, the scheme, and everything. And we have a great group of kids. We have great character in this football program. I said it from day one, and anything they do doesn't surprise me.
Okay. You mentioned the top 19 seniors being honored. One, are any of those guys fourth-year juniors who aren't going to take their fifth year? And two, I guess, are you guys going to honor Kurt Maggitt?
Right. We will honor Kurt Maggitt, and we'll have some decisions with fourth-year players and and what they want to do for their fifth year. So the way I look at it is the season's not over with. It kind of keeps everything in check. We have another game to play after this, and that's the great thing about it. And it's another time for this football team to be together as Team 119 for another month. So I don't look at it as an end. There's still a lot of football left to be played, but in terms of fifth-year players, we'll revisit that when the season concludes.
That's Tennessee head coach Butch Jones. Coming up, we'll preview the game from the Vanderbilt perspective. Commodores shutout against Texas A&M 25-0 the final. Derek Mason reviews that game and previews the matchup against Tennessee next here on SportsLine on News Channel 5+.